Hero News presents Hero of the Month. Each month, Hero News features a Broadway or off-Broadway performer who has been a role model and inspiration in helping the HIV/AIDS community. This month, having made his Broadway debut in Cirque du Soleil's Paramour and named one of Time Out New York's 10 hottest Broadway chorus boys of 2016, this multifaceted performer-photographer returns to Broadway in Lincoln Center's revival of My Fair Lady, our Broadway Hero of the Month, Stephen Truman Gray. And now your host, Michael Cavanaugh.
This is Mike Cavanaugh with HERO.org and HERONEWS.org, and I have a very special guest. Our Broadway Hero of the Month is Stephen Truman Gray. Stephen, welcome.
How are you?
How's it going?
Hey. Oh, have a seat. Yeah, thank you.
So, Stephen,
Yes.
you are a Broadway hero. How does it feel?
It feels great. I am ecstatic.
Excellent. And you are right now in My Fair Lady, an amazing
Yes.
thing. Talk and walk like a regular lady.
Like a lady.
Yeah, so tell us about the experience. You having a good time?
It's great. It's wonderful. There's just so many talented performers inside this spectrum. Like, you have a whole bunch of principals that are doing ensemble tracks, doing featured tracks, and it just is almost overwhelming to be part of such an eclectic group of people that are so immensely talented.
What's the most fun about doing this role? In this
I get
track?
to be a surprise bridesmaid for Get Me to the Church. So I'm wearing combat boots similar to what you see now, made by Fry, and I get to do a jump split.
Wow.
On Broadway.
How about that?
I get very excited about jump
That's
splits.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. So this is your second Broadway show.
This is my second Broadway show.
Which is amazing, and the first one was in
Paramour.
Paramour, which I loved,
Yeah,
and
it was
it's really
great.
funny. Ruby Lewis was our best Broadway debut.
She's incredible.
For our Broadway and Ballet Hero was
That voice is
amazing.
insane.
Right? She's in Vegas now.
incredible.
Miss you, Ruby. Shout out
Miss
to you.
Ruby.
So what was that like?
It was extremely collaborative. It was fun to see Cirque try to do a mixture of Broadway and classic Cirque theatrics. So they borrowed on a little bit of what they knew and tried to adopt it into this Broadway sphere by hiring Broadway's best.
So you're a very interesting cat.
Yeah.
I'm bringing that word back. I like that. You're an interesting cat. You've got a lot of things that I love. You're a circus performer, sort of.
Yes.
And that's kind of amazing. Have
Yeah,
you done any Cirque work before this?
No, I haven't.
But you have done, and I've seen you in both of those shows. At Cinderella, I saw you.
Yeah.
And
Nutcracker
Rouge.
Rouge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw both of those shows.
Yeah,
So it's kind of funny. Here you are.
shows. Yeah.
So tell us about that. You taught yourself all this by yourself on YouTube.
Yeah, I will. I will say that Allison Ulrich, my aerial partner that I do a lot of duos with, she actually looked at what I was doing from my YouTube things and helped train me. And she was like, "Can you hold this pose while I jump on you?" And so. So we figured out a way to make full routines through what we were able to accomplish with my lack of knowledge and expertise.
Wow.
But I was a nationally competitive gymnast, which is the reason why those sorts of lyra pole duos were accessible.
So that's kind of amazing. I want to go back to that. So you were a multiple elite gymnast, level 10.
Yeah.
You went to the Junior World Championships a number of times.
Yes,
so
yes.
you were, why'd you quit?
I broke myself.
Yeah, I can see.
I can't put my fingers together on my right hand.
Wow.
These actually don't go together because I landed on a parallel bar. I also snapped my ankles inwards and outwards in the same tumbling pass.
Wow.
Trying to save it. So I have no real strength holding my ankle in place.
Oh, wow.
So I'm super bendy at my ankles, but it just doesn't have much stability. So I'm just having to rely on bones and a lack of tendonitis.
Oh, wow.
But that's why I left, and I decided that I wanted to accompany singing and my degree in opera, because I almost went to Indiana for opera, with dance. And then I just kind of found out I could do both at Iowa.
Right, and another thing, and I understand that you teach modern dance, and you have a ballet background, so you're kind of amazing. You do all these things. How do you keep them all going?
I'm really lucky to be able to separate most things in my life. I like to be able to put as much energy as I can to whatever I'm doing at the current moment. So it's really nice to be able to do my 8 shows a week, and then if I have any time off of that, I'll go do my Reiki business, or I'll and heal people, or I'll get to just spend time with my dogs in the morning and just be like, this is time for myself.
Sure.
Sure. So I was very happy to be able to be part of this revolution and highly anticipated classic musical coming back to Broadway.
Right, and up for a Tony. So
up for a Tony, up for
great.
10 Tonys.
Yeah, it's amazing how many Tonys you guys were nominated for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think.
You'll be performing in the Tonys, and that's another thing that's a first for you, right?
Yeah, I haven't performed in the Tonys. It's going to be really exciting. I'm a little bit put back by how much this is going to be televised. When I did Macy's Day Parade, I got hit in the face with a hat on national television. So I'm a little bit nervous about the Tonys.
Yeah, exactly. So, Stephen, you are also on one of the most prestigious lists of all time, Hottest Boys on Broadway.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel when that happened?
That made me feel great. I was really happy to get it. It's amazing that both Broadway shows I've gotten it both times. And I feel very, I feel like it's a very good leeway to getting some exposure as far as what I have to offer in the Broadway spectrum. But it also just feels really nice to know that, how do I explain this? One guy in my cast said, I follow you on social media, and I was expecting you to be less kind than you are. So it's nice to know that I'm able to be on that list and still be a good person and seen as a good person. Because most people just think that it's superficiality. But Nick Adams, for example, was on that list so many times, and he's just such an ideal, beautiful human being. Yeah,
he is one of our first ever. He was #2 Broadway hero.
He's incredible.
Years ago, 2009. Do you believe it?
Yeah, love you, Nick.
Yes. Hi, Nick Adams. We love you.
Yeah, he's incredible, and it feels really amazing to just be part of the Broadway spectrum in that aspect.
And now you're a Broadway hero for us.
Now I'm a Broadway hero.
Everyone you know has done it.
Yeah.
All of those people.
All those people.
All those people.
All the talent.
Yes. So if you had any advice for people that are trying to get in this business, what would you say to them?
Oh, that's a hard one. I would say just really be confident on what you're putting down. I feel like a lot of people, because my partner and I shoot headshots, we talk to these people about what they hope and what they aspire to be or what their dream role is. And a lot of them come in very clouded, or they have such a specific tone that they want to achieve that they start analyzing their whole entire existence in front of themselves while having their photo taken. And I think there's something to be said about just realizing you are you, and you will be the best you can be, and just be convinced on that. Because I think if I had just known to just not compare myself and just realize that people are going to like my energy for what my energy is, the universe will have some sort of attraction. And they will be attracted to it. The more that you fear it, the more it will fear you, and it will provide less opportunity. So I think living in fear as an artist is something that I would try to avoid.
Okay, so be confident out there.
Be confident.
There you go. And speaking of that, you also are a photographer, and that's a big passion that you have.
Yeah.
So, and I think you're raising money for a show.
Yeah. We're raising money for a Broadway Cares Equity Fight AIDS.
Who doesn't love them?
Yeah, they're amazing. I was so lucky to be part of the photo shoot this past year. I'm still trying to figure out how I can raise money in the show, but being part of the show right now. But just time is just so hard to find.
Yeah, well, it's really easy. You just jump on stage with a couple, underwear and just get dollars and have people, I think you'd probably do that at the end.
Yeah, I would do that, definitely.
There you go. So, come see Broadway Bears. It's one of my favorite events. It's coming up in June, by the way. Coming up soon. You can get your tickets at BroadwayCares.org, and we will be there, definitely.
We will definitely.
So, Stephen, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
What?
Your mustache. So, I love your mustache. So why do you keep the mustache after the circus things that you've done, and now you're in?
It was really weird. So with Cirque, they showed me two options. They said you can have facial hair or not, and I said I would prefer to have facial hair because I have a receding chin. So like Alyssa Edwards, I can't change a pillowcase. So like it just goes super far back. So I hide it with my mustache and my beard. So they gave me this really like attractive Tom of Finland type with like a big bushy beard and a handlebar mustache. And I said, okay, this is feasible. And so all my book, my modeling portfolio, everything started progressing towards having a mustache. There's one job I did for Truvada as a commercial campaign that actually chopped my mustache off. And then when I booked My Fair Lady, they said, we want you to be period.
No,
We
that's
saw that you
perfect.
had this mustache. Can you grow it back? So during that time...
Okay, so it's big for the
Yeah.
show. Who knew? I just thought you just...
Yeah, no,
I love
both
it.
Broadway shows
Yeah.
asked for it because we have so many people like spirit gumming their mustache on
I
in our
love it.
show.
Just keep it. Keep it
Yeah,
forever. I think
it's
it's
great.
classic. It's, it's beautiful.
I like it. It's hard work though.
Yeah.
You have to keep trimming it and got to be glued and blow dry
God,
it.
I know. Okay, Steven, so what's quirky about you?
Oh, I am the weird. I capitalize myself on Broadway as the weird tattooed guy. That's a complete energy healer. I find it funny that when I'm in Broadway auditions, people are like, "What are the arms on this?" And I'm like, "So when we go through this line, do we actually trace the fingertips through this modality?" And people just look at me like I'm an alien. So I would say quirkiness is I'm extremely heady, but I'm extremely experiential. I like to think about art and life as playing in a sandbox with no attachment to ego. So I think that kind of sets me in this weird, quirky space where I'm like, ooh, energy, ooh, the universe, and everyone's like, you're very weird. But yeah, I have to go to auditions completely like in ripped up tank tops just so everyone knows what they're getting themselves into before we even start. I'll wear like this. This might actually ruin my thing. But like, I'll have all my tattoos showing like a little bit like my mermaid.
Wow.
Just to make sure that everyone knows what they're getting themselves into. Yeah, so we have all these tattoos. We have a chest tattoo right there. There's my nipple. Hello, nipple. Yeah, and then we have mermaid. So I always make sure that everyone knows that like we're getting themselves into
cool.
like a tattooed guy that's just a dude.
A dude with a tattoo. There you go. So Stephen, as you know, we're a site for newly diagnosed and people living with HIV, and it's really important, I think, for young people to realize that there's still a danger out there and they really need to explore getting on PrEP, but still condoms are the best way to promote safety for us because you can get other diseases that are, you can't.
Yeah.
Do you have a message about the importance of being safe out there for kids?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, luckily my partner and I are in a committed relationship and we're monogamish, and whenever we talk about like potentially entertaining a third or whatever, we always talk about that the third has to wear condoms and we have to be very specific. But I also just think that a lot of people think that the activity of taking PrEP is an all-out invincible drug.
Right.
And I just want people to know that that does not cover like hepatitis, herpes, gonorrhea, chlamydia, any of it. And so just like being aware that you're not invincible on PrEP. It is a great thing to take if you're negative, and I think it's a really great precautionary drug. I trusted being able to model for Truvada safely and feel very like secure with endorsing that product.
Sure.
But I just seen so many people that will take it and then just go crazy and then be like, but I did get this.
Right.
Which glad penicillin can cure a
Right,
lot
but
of
still,
stuff.
yeah, there's
but,
other things that are dangerous.
yeah, and if those things are untreated, it can lead to a lot of other
Right,
things.
sure.
Yeah, so I think condoms are always the best practice, for sure.
So our slogan is condoms are hot. Do you think condoms are hot?
Condoms are so hot. They're great. And it just will save you on the front end.
Okay.
Or the back end.
So be safe out there.
Be safe.
That was funny. I like that you were monogamish.
Monogamish.
That's a new, I think, catchphrase you've invented.
Actually,
Monogamish.
Dan Savage invented it.
Oh, really?
Chad and I like to listen to the Savage Love Cast just because we hear about a lot of other couples' experiences, whether good or bad, like funny or not. It's just really nice to know in a domesticated relationship that there are intellectual lovers that are stripping away conventional norms of sexuality and relationships.
Awesome. Well, listen, I think you have a great career ahead of you. You're a young guy, second Broadway show already. You're a circus performer. You're an elite gymnast. You're a singer. You're an opera singer. You can do anything perfectly.
Thank you.
Probably build a house. I don't know what you can do.
I want to build a tiny house.
But I think you're going to have a great career, and I really thank you for being here, being our Broadway hero.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on everything. Please go see him in My Fair Lady. It's at the
Vivian Beaumont,
which is the
Lincoln
Center Theater, which is amazing. So please go see him.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And be safe out there. Thank you so much for watching.